This is News 8 Now this morning.
Clearing clutter from around the bed at nighttime, making sure homes are well lit, doing away with very loose rugs that can slide when people walk, having evaluations done for different types of handles in the bathroom or in the home.
We know that if they don't start at a young age, they're far less likely to start at an older age. So it's really important to reduce access and keep these products out of the hands of our young people.
We teach up here in the Holmen School District, and we provide workbooks and t-shirts for the kids, so anything that's raised today just helps all of our programs.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for watching News 8 Now. I'm Sophia Pullman.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
And it is March 6th, and we have snow.
We do. And we had a combination of like rain and snow last night, especially to the north. La Crosse did see their fair share. As you probably noticed, a little bit messy on the roads, right?
Yeah, slushy.
Yeah, it was slushy, yeah, and slippery out there. So that is something that we'll have to keep in mind as we get ready for that morning commute. As of right now, we are tracking some rain and snow, but it looks like mainly just snow off to our northern locations here this morning. And in fact, a lot of this, it looks like it's clearing here much of the viewing area this morning as we speak. But don't let that fool you, though, because we are looking at more chances of rain and snow here come later today. So let's get a live look at that satellite and radar picture. You can see over the last 12 hours, definitely some messy conditions ever since yesterday afternoon, overnight, and into early this morning. Now we're getting a break. Temperatures are currently into the mid-30s, 33 in Eau Claire, 36 degrees for us here in La Crosse. And let's get a check now on your planner here overall. We're looking at those cloudy skies lasting through 11, and then better chances of rain and snow here between mainly 1 through 3 o'clock. And then after that, by this evening, we're looking cloudy. High temperatures today into the 40s. Also keep in mind today, winter weather advisories are in effect here across our northern zones. This does include Eau Claire County until 3 p.m. today for mixed precipitation, snowfall accumulations, and of course impacts to your morning commute are all part of this advisory as well. So we'll talk more about this and a lot more coming up in the weather forecast in a little bit. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. A silver alert has been issued for a 76-year-old man out of Vernon County. Richard Hofford left his home in Maple Ridge at 5 p.m. on Sunday and is driving a gray 2015 Toyota Tundra. His license plate number is 205821. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office asks you to call if you have any information on Hofford's whereabouts. Area dancers shared their talents this weekend for suicide prevention. At the 10th annual Dance for Hope, the La Crosse Suicide Prevention Initiative and Active Minds from UWL helped give hope to those affected by suicide. Multiple dance groups from the Coulee region participated, all with the same goal. Resource tables were also available for anyone who needs help. Organizers want people to know they aren't alone.
Whether it's mental health or suicide, it's definitely on the increase with suicides because of COVID, isolation, and particularly the elderly that have been isolated. They're having a lot of issues with their mental health.
If you missed Dance for Hope and would like to help out, you can donate online at the La Crosse Area Suicide Prevention's website. We have a link posted on our website. That's news8000.com. A blast from the past, the Valley View Mall hosted visiting historians for the UW La Crosse annual Mississippi Valley Archaeology Center Artifact Show. Archaeologists were on hand to answer any questions on all things artifacts. Plus, local collectors shared their personal collections. Organizers say maintaining historical artifacts is an important practice.
The cultural heritage in this area does go back thousands of years, and that there are good reasons for understanding about that and for trying to preserve whatever sites we can.
Stevenson also says people traveled from all over Wisconsin to attend the show. And over in Holmen, the La Crosse County Sheriff's Office put their chili eating skills to the test. Competitors submitted chilies to be judged by the Sheriff's Office. Money raised from the chili cook-off supports DARE, the drug resistance education program in La Crosse, Onalaska, and Holmen schools.
We teach up here in the Holmen School District, and we provide workbooks and t-shirts for the kids, so anything that's raised today just helps all of our programs.
One of the officers present said that making connections with the kids in the schools is the most important part. Special Olympics supporters went polar Saturday for a good cause. It's the 2023 Lacrosse Polar Plunge, and contestants jumped into the icy Black River to support Wisconsin athletes. One of the organizers says that there are plenty of things that make this fundraiser the coolest day of the year.
I think the Polar Plunge is just so unique. Not every fundraiser you're jumping into the cold river, and it's just really fun. There's a lot of energy around going throughout the beach this morning, and it's a fun day.
There were lots of ways to get involved, from jumping in the water to supporting with donations from the sidelines. Saturday's event raised over $86,000 for the Special Olympics Wisconsin. Athletes and families from all over Wisconsin paid a visit to La Crosse this weekend for some basketball. News 8's now Anna Fisher stopped by the McDonald's Classic Boys basketball tournament and shares why this big event truly matters.
Over 100 basketball teams were getting their heads in the game this weekend. This 4th through 9th grade tournament is the club's largest sporting event of the year and their biggest fundraiser. Teams have traveled in from across the state, all for a little friendly competition. The athletic director for the Boys and Girls Club says the long-time tournament is good for the kids and the community.
It's just interesting to see how teams kind of react, whether they just came off a win, came off a loss. Those groups of teams really stick together. It's been really a positive thing to watch this weekend.
The organization says this tournament is a great opportunity for the kids to experience some new competition while developing their playing skills. This tournament was for the boys, and the Girls McDonald's Classic will take place this winter. And if you'd like to sign your child up, team registration begins in early August.
You can find the full team bracket with scores on our website at news8000.com. We're just a week away from the St. Patrick's Day Parade in La Crosse, and to celebrate, the community got to meet this year's Irishman and Rose. Perry Sexauer and Ann Nolan were introduced to the community at the Shamrock Club's 50th anniversary dinner. For the pair and the club, this year is extra special.
It's a pretty big honor, especially this being the 50th anniversary of the Shamrock Club. It's a pretty big honor, some pretty big shoes to fill, but I'm really excited.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade will march on Main Street on March 11th, and the annual bus trip will return after 3 years on March 17th. It's that time of year again. Construction on La Crosse's South Avenue starts up today. Work will be done on South between Green Bay Street and Ward Avenue. Some lanes will be closed between Monday and Wednesday, and starting Wednesday, all traffic will be shifted to the eastbound lanes. That'll happen while crews restore the westbound lanes. The Department of Transportation urges drivers to slow down and watch out for crews in the area. The DOT says work should finish in fall 2023. Lane closures will last until Wednesday. Still ahead on your morning news, we explain how big a success the new Girl Scouts cookie is and how gig jobs are taking over the economy. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Be ready to observe by having your glass of milk handy, as it is National Oreo Cookie Day. The day is recognized across the nation each year on March 6th. The Oreo sandwich cookie is made up of 2 chocolate discs containing a sweet cream filling and is loved by millions. Since its introduction, the Oreo cookie has become the best-selling cookie in the United States. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We are getting a break here in some of the messy weather conditions that brought us some rain and snow, but be careful out there on the roadways because it is definitely looking slippery and slushy out there on your morning commute. As far as your temperatures go this afternoon, we'll be into the upper 30s to low 40s with chances of rain and snow here, mainly during the afternoon. Really, the same can be said across our southern zones with highs into the upper 30s to low 40s as well. It'll be 38 in Melrose today. Meanwhile, to the north in Osseo, you're looking at 37 degrees, slightly cooler. Meanwhile, much cooler across our northern zones around the Chippewa Valley, as highs will be into the upper 30s. Dog walking conditions starting off a little bit slushy out there. Cloudy skies for the morning for the weather, and then showers during the afternoon. By this evening, we'll be looking at the cloudy weather conditions. Overall, pretty dry out there after all that precipitation comes to a close. So off to school we go. 35 degrees with those cloudy skies. And on the way back home, you may be running into some combination of the two, of either rain or snow mixing together here at times as well. Our high temperatures will be around 40 degrees in some spots during the afternoon on the way back from school here too. But stay tuned. We'll talk more weather coming up in that full weather forecast. We'll break down timing and details of more of that rain and snow that could be on the way later today.
In your consumer news this morning, as tempting as this treat looks, the Girl Scouts Council urges people not to buy them on websites like eBay. The new Raspberry Rally cookie is sold out. Now boxes of the raspberry flavored Thin Mint Light cookie are going for up to $100 online. Product Program Director Jessica Martin says those resales are unauthorized and they go against Scout ethics. The good news is girls are still selling other cookies in some parts of the country, and there's always next year. ATMs are on the decline as the U.S. moves towards a cashless society. The Wall Street Journal reports they peaked in 2019 with 470,000 machines. Then the pandemic set off a surge in digital payments and the number began falling. The paper cites a Euromonitor projection that cash and check payments will soon fall to 14%. Some Americans still rely on cash, and the trend could make it more and more challenging to get it. A major fast food chain is saying thank you to food delivery workers in a new way by opening up a space just for them in New York City. But as Bradley Blackburn reports, it's also a reminder about what is lost as more people take jobs in the gig economy.
They are workers on two wheels, bringing meals to New Yorkers on the move every hour of the day. But here on the city's Upper East Side, there's a new place to stop. It's called The Break Room, opened in February by Chick-fil-A, where any delivery worker can get a free cup of coffee, charge their phone, or find a restroom. In its first week alone, hundreds showed up.
You think you'll come often?
Yes.
Maybe every day?
Yeah, maybe. No, every day. No, maybe. Every day.
They are grateful for comforts many traditional office workers might take for granted, but that are rare in the growing gig economy. Bank of America analysts project an economic slowdown this year could push 1 million more people into jobs making food deliveries for apps or driving for rideshare services.
The vast majority of people work at least 6, if not 7 days a week.
Andrew Wolf with Rutgers University studied app delivery workers in New York and found they often work in tough conditions for below minimum wage.
With these apps, where they're classified as independent contractors, they're not entitled to any of these rights.
But there is another path. Take Revel, a rideshare startup hiring drivers as traditional employees. Behind the wheel of company-owned Teslas, they get paid breaks and benefits.
So they get health benefits, they get access to dental benefits, they get access to a 401k.
Revel says their employee drivers are more reliable and efficient, and it gives them an edge.
Do you think this model is the way of the future, or some of the competitors?
I think both. I think drivers deserve an option.
A different way of working in a field that's moving fast.
That Chick-fil-A sponsored break room will be open to delivery workers until mid-April. The company says it's for the winter months when delivery work is especially difficult. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek in today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sophia. Off to a very cloudy start now after we just got through some messy weather conditions in the form of rain and snow, and at times even mixed together yesterday and through the overnight hours, which we'll get to here in a second. It's currently 36 degrees with cloudy skies now, and La Crosse visibility much better here at 10 miles. For you folks up to the north in Eau Claire, you are looking at 33 degrees. The streets here, as you can see, are a little bit wet outside. Visibility at running at around 2 miles. So over the last 12 hours, we have seen that rain and and snow move in across the Coulee region, but the snow showers were mainly focused to the north. Now we're getting a bit of a break. We also saw reports of some small hail across portions of northeast Iowa as well as extreme northern Illinois, but the rest of us did see those reports come in of mainly snow and also some rain associated with this low pressure system that we are continuing to track as it moves its way towards the east. We're also watching some snow showers here across the upper Midwest. They're currently snowing here across these areas with some snow showers also affecting portions of the northern Great Lakes. For today, 36 degrees. Those cloudy skies will continue, and then some showers at around noon today, followed by some snow showers moving in around 4 o'clock. Again, that could mix with rain at times too. By this evening, all the precipitation should come to a close, and we're left over with mainly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 30s. Now, the majority of the snow will continue to be mainly focused well off to the north here throughout the day. Some of that snow may start to drift its way towards the south as that storm system pulls away from us, and you can see some spots will see that combination of that rain and snow mix. La Crosse will probably see a lot of that here during the early to mid-afternoon here, and by 5 o'clock a lot of this will settle down. Then we got cloudy skies here for the majority of the evening, and then those clouds will dissipate here as we head into overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Maybe just a few clouds that could be left over. All right, so winter weather advisories are in effect across our northern zones. This does include Eau Claire County as well until 3 p.m. today, and that's because we're talking mixed precipitation in these spots. Snowfall accumulations are likely in these spots as well, and this will cause some travel impacts for those of you heading northbound here too. Snow tracker showing an additional maybe 1 to 2 inches at best here for some spots, but the rest of us probably looking at an additional trace of an inch of snow. Probably won't see a whole lot of that the further south that you go, including La Crosse County. Probably we'll see maybe even less than a trace. But here's a look at the forecast highs today, mainly into the upper 30s, low 40s. And as far as the rest of the 8-day forecast goes, we're going to be looking much drier for tomorrow and Wednesday with highs into the low to mid 40s. Temperatures drop into the 30s starting Thursday, along with good chances of snow for Thursday into Thursday night as well as into Friday from a next storm system moving in. So that's something we'll keep tabs on later this week. Stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. Here's a quick check on the look what happened on the Today in History for March 6th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. In case you missed it, Milwaukee's 16-game win streak came to an end on Saturday night as they fell to the 76ers in a game where Philly scored 48 points in the fourth quarter. The Bucks have been winning a lot, but that didn't stop Giannis from being a little frustrated after the loss.
We didn't do a good enough job. We got to learn from it. We got to be able to play for 48 minutes good basketball, defend for 48 minutes, and this is a good lesson for us, and hopefully we can carry over to the next game and try to be better and try to go win more games.
Right, but hey, the beauty of the NBA is that they were already on to the next game yesterday on the road in Washington. Brooke Lopez with a huge block, and how about another Lopez, a Brooke Wall. Second quarter now, and how about Jrue Holiday over the backboard? You got to be kidding me. Bucks up 11. Let's go to the second half. Giannis in transition, dumps it back to Bobby Portis. The three ball is good. Bucks offense is rolling. A few minutes later, check out Jay Crowder behind the back pass to Holiday in the corner. That's cash. Bucks back up 7. Close game late. It's Giannis time, but not as a scorer, as a passer. Somehow finding Joe Ingles in the corner. That's nothing but net. That was the dagger as the Bucks get the win, 117-111. They go again on Tuesday. Well, the college basketball regular season officially came to an end yesterday, as now teams will be getting ready for the conference tournaments. The Badgers are on the bubble and needed a win yesterday afternoon to keep their March Madness hopes alive, as a loss would pretty much seal the deal. Badgers trailed at the half, but out of the break, Chucky Hepburn gets the steal. Nobody's going to catch him as he throws it down. Wisconsin down by 1. Minnesota holding on. Carrington from beyond the arc buries it. Minnesota up by 7. Badgers not going anywhere. Hepburn drives baseline, a little fake, and then easy layup. Badgers down 3. Back and forth down the stretch. Connor Essegian cutting to the hoop. That puts the Badgers up 1. We were tied with under 30 to go. Chucky Hepburn, he's going to put this game on ice. The step back triple gives the Badgers a 3-point lead as they would hang on for the win. They've got Ohio State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament on Wednesday. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
In a possible preview of what voters could see on the 2024 campaign trail, President Biden, former President Trump, and other potential candidates crisscrossed the country, laying out some of their political priorities in major speeches over the weekend. Jared Hill has more from New York.
President Biden and others marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. It marks the 58th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement when police beat peaceful protesters who were demanding the right to vote.
This fundamental right remains under assault.
Across the country in California, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, seen as a possible 2024 Republican presidential contender, slammed what he called woke ideology before a crowd of supporters at the Reagan Library.
We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob.
DeSantis skipped the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, where former President Trump gave a fiery speech Saturday, taking aim at President Biden.
We will evict Joe Biden from the White House.
Trump is one of at least 3 declared 2024 presidential candidates. Maryland's former Republican governor, Larry Hogan, told CBS Face the Nation that he will not jump into the race.
Toughest decision I ever made.
On the Democrat side, author Marianne Williamson launched a long-shot effort to challenge President Biden for the nomination, although Mr. Biden has not officially announced a bid for re-election. Jared Hill, CBS News.
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom responded to DeSantis' criticism in a statement to CBS News saying, quote, California residents are safer, healthier, and more prosperous. And he said the Florida governor is, quote, going to get smoked by Trump. Trump overwhelmingly won the CPAC straw poll last weekend with 62% support, followed by a distant DeSantis who got 20%. A constant ringing in your ears could be a sign of tinnitus. It's a chronic condition that can affect your sleep cycle and everyday activity. Symptoms can be ringing, buzzing, whistling, cracking, or chirping. Mayo Clinic health experts say that 1 in 5 people have it. It could be caused by age, one-time exposure, or exposure to loud sounds over the course of your life. Doctors say if the ringing in your ears keeps bothering you, to talk to your healthcare providers for a hearing test. When you're sick, a visit to the doctor can lead to a prescription, but sometimes that medication may not be approved by the FDA for your specific condition. That's called off-label. Doctors often do this when they think the treatment could be medically appropriate for the patient. A doctor for Mayo Clinic Health System says one example of that is prescribing aspirin for heart disease or diabetes.
It wasn't studied for the purpose, but we know it to be safe. Off-label use similarly is a kind of a similar concept. Safe, available medications used slightly outside the boundaries of how they were approved originally by the FDA.
Dr. Bagra encourages patients to talk with their doctors to understand those prescriptions. And this month is Traumatic Brain Injury Awareness Month. UW Health is bringing attention to prevention and awareness. Traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs, don't just happen in athletics. They can also be caused in accidents around the home. Injuries like these have lifelong results, but they often can be avoided. One expert says it's important to take precautions.
Clearing clutter from around the bed at nighttime, making sure homes are well lit. Doing away with very loose rugs that can slide when people walk, having evaluations done for different types of handles in the bathroom or in the home.
Doctors say symptoms of a TBI can come in the form of dizziness, double vision, sensitivity to light, sound, and trouble sleeping. 1 out of 10 new moms struggle with postpartum depression. Experts say that it is much more than just the baby blues. Those symptoms can appear as mood swings, anxiety, or being overwhelmed. Those feelings can last up to a year after giving birth. Mayo Clinic Health System experts say that getting treatment for those symptoms are important so that new moms don't feel alone. If you or anyone you know is struggling with postpartum depression and needs support, you can call the number on your screen or talk to your healthcare provider. Underage tobacco sales are on the rise. That's according to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. The DHS wants people to remember the legal age to buy tobacco is 21, and research shows people who don't use tobacco at a young age are less likely to use it when they're older.
We know that if they don't start at a young age, they're far less likely to start at an older age. So it's really important to reduce access and keep these products out of the hands of our young people.
Younger tobacco users are typically using vape pens or e-cigarettes, but no matter your age, tobacco use is harmful. If you need help quitting, there are a number of resources available. Westfall recommends talking with your primary care provider to find out what's best for you. On Friday morning, Governor Walz signed a bill that will give formerly imprisoned Minnesotans the right to vote. Democrats have been pushing for this legislation for years. The new law will give more than 50,000 Minnesotans previously convicted of a felony immediate voting access across the state.
Today is a good day for democracy.
Surrounded by politicians and supporters, Governor Walz signed the bill into law, immediately restoring voting rights for felons no longer in custody.
We're a country of second chances. We're a country of welcoming folks back in. And the idea of not allowing those voices to have a say in the very governing of the communities they live in is simply unacceptable.
People who are prohibited from voting, they have to pay their taxes, they have to obey all the laws, they have to do everything, but they don't have any choice in who represents them. Now they do.
Supporters say restoring this right is a step towards restorative justice. Once released from prison, a convicted felon doesn't have to complete parole or probation to vote.
Thanks to this law, I'll get to vote again along with 50,000 other Americans.
Jennifer Schroeder and Pastor Brian Heron Sr. are two supporters previously convicted of crimes who will now be able to vote.
Voting is a civil right. The voices of the people who are struggling should not be silenced.
If we're going to be a just state, a just society and nation, then we have to believe in redemption.
A number of Republicans have opposed the legislation, including Senator Warren Limmer. In a statement, he said, felonies are serious crimes that should require serious consequences. Probation is a time when criminals are to prove they can adjust to their freedom without reverting to former criminal activity. We expect to see them follow the law fully before we allow them to choose lawmakers and judges.
While plenty of Minnesotans can't wait for spring to come, ice anglers are generally not among them. And with the arrival of meteorological springs comes the deadline of removing ice fishing shelters. In southern Minnesota, structures must be off the surface of lakes and rivers by tonight. Kristen Michelle has the details.
They're not bad.
On White Bear Lake,
Slush is finally gone.
the fish are biting.
Mainly fish crappies.
But the ice is weakening. That's why Jeff Finberg is on the lake instead of in his ice house.
The shoreline started getting a little soft after that rain a couple weeks ago, so I brought mine home.
He doesn't want to have to fish out his ice house as he did years ago.
Another 45-degree day in January, and ice just eroded under my house.
Anglers who still have their ice shelters on inland lakes in the southern portion of the state have until Monday night to remove them. Up north, the deadline's March 20th.
If the shelters aren't removed by the deadline, the DNR says owners may be cited and the structures confiscated, removed, or destroyed by a conservation officer.
Half scoop, I can do that.
White Bear Bait and Convenience Store is still getting big business from anglers, despite a season that many considered
up and down.
Andrew Pierce says many people took shelters in early after the rain and warm temperatures.
Just to be safe, protect the environment also. You don't want your shack and a bunch of generators with fuel and stuff going into the water.
The DNR reminds people to bring trash with them too, sharing this photo of what could end up in the water.
That's a pretty big issue. They've been doing a lot better on White Bear, I've noticed. I've picked up a few pop cans, beer cans, that kind of thing, but it's not as much as it was in past years. I think the message is kind of getting through.
Anglers like Jeff are excited to get off the lake and on a boat.
It was a long, snowy winter, ready for summer.
Storing or leaving shelters on a lake's public access is strictly prohibited. We're coming up on the first day of spring, but kids in one Minnesota city are hoping the winter weather lasts a little longer. Brian Anderson says he's been a longtime snow fan, but being a dad has taken it to a whole nother level. What started as a fun project in his backyard now requires blueprints with a giant backyard snow fort. It's more than 5 feet tall and 30 feet wide. It has been growing in his backyard almost nonstop since the first snowflake dropped.
The kids have so much fun in the summer playing with everybody. Winter, you just forget who your neighbors are, you forget, who your friends are, and this was a way to bring people out.
Anderson says his previous forts have stayed up until May before collapsing, but of course that all depends on Mother Nature.
Well, it sure is a much drier start here now after what was a pretty slushy start dealing with rain and snow. And there's still some slick spots out there, definitely, so be careful out there on your morning commute. As of right now, it's cloudy, though, in La Crosse. Temperatures are currently at 36 degrees. Here's what you can expect throughout the rest of the morning. Mainly cloudy, temperatures into the mid-30s. Then we're going to be watching for some rain showers starting to move in at around noon today, followed by some rain and maybe even a bit of snow here starting around late this afternoon, around 2 o'clock, and then continuing into around 4 o'clock in the day. High temperatures in La Crosse reaching around 41 degrees, chance of rain and snow. Seasonable conditions though with temperatures, north winds at 10 to 15. For tonight, we dropped down to 27. That's a little mild for this time of the year. Much drier though, mostly cloudy skies, and we will be looking at light north-northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. So for your drive cast this morning, again, watch out for some of those slick roadways out there and those slushy spots here too. Showers are possible here. That could affect your mid-commute, and then followed by cloudy skies, much drier conditions settle in as we head towards your evening commute hour. We'll talk more about this and much more coming up in that full weather forecast after the break. But coming up in your Buzz Report, what Chris Rock says about the infamous Oscar slap heard around the world. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, everyone. Sure is a much drier start here after what was a pretty messy late afternoon and through the overnight hours here last night. We saw rain and snow move through. Here's what it looks like now, though. Much drier here, like we mentioned, with cloudy skies overhead. 36 degrees is that temperature, and we're looking at visibility is looking clear at around 10 miles. The river stage is at 5.44 feet. So let's get a check on those current conditions to the north for our neighbors in Eau Claire. You guys are currently at 33 degrees. Again, the roads here looking a little bit wet here in some spots and also a little bit slick, so be careful. Take it slow because, again, we did have that rain and snow move through yesterday and overnight, and you'll see that here over the last 12 hours. Yesterday afternoon through the evening and also overnight, we saw all that rain and snow move through. And not only did we see rain and snow, but our neighbors down across portions of eastern Iowa as well as portions of northern Illinois, they actually saw some small hail reports come in. But the rest of us, again, mainly saw rain and snow with this storm system, which is, by the way, just positioned to our south. And you can see it does have a couple of fronts here with it as well. This system is forecast to continue to move away from us. Right now, it is producing some snow showers, though, for our neighbors here across extreme northern Wisconsin, also portions of Minnesota, and also portions of the Great Lakes. They're dealing with snow showers here as well. Now, we may be looking at some more precipitation in the form of rain here starting at around noon today, followed by maybe that mix or transition to snow by around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures holding steady into the 30s and then mostly cloudy. We dry out again as we head into this evening. Now, the majority of that snow mainly going to be focused across our northern counties. Now, watch what happens here. It may start to drift south by the time we reach around 2 o'clock in the day. That will continue through at least 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon before clearing out as we head into this evening. Then we're just left over with mainly cloudy skies here as we head into the majority of the evening. By tonight, though, we probably will see a lot of those clouds clear out, but still some leftover cloud cover still possible in some spots overnight. Keep in mind, winter weather advisories are in effect across all of our northern zones, which does include Eau Claire, until 3 p.m. today. And that's because we are looking at mixed precipitation in the form of rain and snow, maybe even a little bit of a glaze of ice, and also snowfall accumulations, which all will impact travel plans here as well, especially northbound. Anywhere between around that 1 to 2 inch mark, some spots only looking at a trace. The La Crosse area and south probably won't see anything at all when it comes to snowfall accumulations. Anywhere between around 1/10 of an inch or less is possible for additional rainfall accumulations as well. High temperatures today mainly into the mid to upper 30s to low 40s. 40s. Now tomorrow will be actually warmer. Highs will pick up to 43 and mostly cloudy, even warmer than that on Wednesday with a high of 44. Now we're going to watch carefully for Thursday and Friday. Our next storm system may be pretty strong. That could give us a good chance of snow showers here for the end of the work week. We'll keep tabs on that as we get closer.
Comedian Chris Rock is finally opening up about Will Smith's infamous slap. Rock has recently kept silent about Smith walking on stage at the Oscars last year and slapped him in the face for telling a joke about his wife. In a live Netflix show Saturday, Rock joked, "Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face." Rock also suggested the slap was more about Smith's relationship with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Rock's Netflix show also was the platform's first live global streaming event. Mel Brooks and a new generation serve up satire through the centuries in History of the World Part 2. The movie titled Mel Brooks, History of the World Part 1 was kind of a joke, but more than 40 years later, there's finally a Part 2, a streaming series with more moments throughout history. The 8-part series, History of the World Part 2, is now streaming on Hulu. Set it first hour. I'm over the Chris.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's
Will
just
Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all drama at this point now. I think we know what happened. Now, of course, it's like, you know, who was right, who was wrong, right? So I think that's kind of what it boils down to.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8, and I think we have it working now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we believe
okay.
we so. We have a happy 8th birthday that we want to wish to Ava here behind me, and beautiful little girl that also is full of energy, life, and she loves to play, run, and have fun too.
Happy 8th birthday to Mallory. Mallory is an outgoing girl who enjoys sports, loves animals, and going to school to hang out with her friends.
Now, she's not one of our usual 8s, but it's a pretty big milestone. So happy 98th birthday to Millie. Millie is still going strong at 98 and likes to crochet, knit, draw, and is always up for a good time.
If you know someone special turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for that Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. A silver alert has been issued for a 76-year-old man out of Vernon County. Richard Hofford left his home in Maple Ridge at 5 p.m. on Sunday and is driving a gray 2015 Toyota Tundra. His license plate number is 205821. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office asks you to call if you have any information on Hofford's whereabouts. Underage tobacco sales are on the rise. That's according to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. The DHS wants people to remember the legal age to buy tobacco is 21. And research shows people who don't use tobacco at a young age are less likely to use it when they're older.
We know that if they don't start at a young age, they're far less likely to start at an older age. So it's really important to reduce access and keep these products out of the hands of our young people.
Younger tobacco users are typically using vape pens or e-cigarettes, but no matter your age, tobacco use is harmful. If you need help quitting, there are a number of resources available. Westfall recommends talking with your primary care provider to find out what's best for you. 1 out of 10 new moms struggle with postpartum depression. Experts say that it is more than just the baby blues. Those symptoms can appear as mood swings, anxiety, or being overwhelmed. Those feelings can last up to a year after giving birth. Mayo Clinic Health System experts say that getting treatment for those symptoms are important so that new moms don't feel alone. If you or anyone you know is struggling with postpartum depression and needs support, you can call the number on your screen or talk to your healthcare provider. Area dancers shared their talents this weekend for suicide prevention at the 10th Annual Dance for Hope. The La Crosse Suicide Prevention Initiative and Active Minds from UWL helped give hope to those affected by suicide. Multiple dance groups from the Coulee region participated, all with the same goal. Resource tables were also available for anyone who needs help. Organizers want people to know they aren't alone.
Whether it's mental health or suicide, it's definitely on the increase with suicides because of COVID, isolation, and particularly the elderly that have been isolated. They're having a lot of issues with their mental health.
If you missed Dance for Hope and would like to help out, you can donate online at the La Crosse Area Suicide Prevention's website. We have a link posted on our website. That's news8000.com. We're just a week away from the St. Patrick's Day Parade in La Crosse, and to celebrate, the community got to meet this year's Irishman and Rose. Perry Sexall and Ann Nolan were introduced to the community at the Shamrock Club's 50th anniversary dinner. For the pair and the club, this year is extra special.
It's a pretty big honor, especially this being the 50th anniversary of the Shamrock Club. It's a pretty big honor, some pretty big shoes to fill, but I'm really excited.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade will head down Main Street on March 11th, and the annual bus trip will return after 3 years on March 17th. It's that time of year again. Construction on La Crosse's South Avenue starts up today. Work will be done on South between Green Bay Street and Ward Avenue. Some lanes will be closed between Monday and Wednesday, and starting Wednesday, all traffic will be shifted to the eastbound lanes. That'll happen while crews restore the westbound lanes. The Department of Transportation urges drivers to slow down and watch out for crews in the area. The DOT says work should finish in fall of 2023. Lane closures will last until Wednesday.
And as you head out the door this morning, we are tracking some cloud cover out there. Temperatures are into the mid to upper 30s here currently. Now keep in mind, we are going to be looking at a better chance of seeing some showers begin to move in by early afternoon, followed by rain and snow showers between around that 1 to 3. Between that 1 to 3 mark, we could be looking at some of that rain and snow coming down. Now, also, we have winter weather alerts. So winter weather advisory in effect until 3 for mixed precipitation, snowfall accumulations, impacts the morning commutes, mainly across our northern zones. Here's a check on the rest of the week. For tomorrow, 43 or 41, I should say. 43, I should say, actually. Cloudy skies through Wednesday. Chances of snow on Thursday and Friday.
I thought we were done with the snow.
No, not quite. So March, we can get snow here, and even into early April, it's a common thing. But
no, thank you. If it's here when Easter comes around, that's when you know it's been way too long. Well, thank you, Derek. And thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com, and we'll have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great day. Thank you for watching News 8. We'll catch y'all later.